maliciousness, and the punishment in the hells are decided. All sinful souls are brought to King Qingguang to be tried and sentenced accordingly. These souls will be punished in the hells and to have their karma reduced. If any soul can balance their good deeds with their bad, this soul can then be sent to the 10th hall to await rebirth. No one can hide in front of the karma mirror. The cunning and deceitful people will be exposed. When one dies, nothing is retained except one's karma. All of our bad deeds will be exposed in the karma mirror. No one can deny anything. The first and most important good deed is filial piety. The most serious sin of all is to commit suicide. It is foolish and also agonizing for one to commit suicide. The suffering after suicide is more painful. One would suffer the pain of suicide repeatedly because one has yet to repay the 4 great kindnesses, the kindnesses of one's parents, teachers, country, and all other beings. If one commits suicide without fulfilling one's duties, not only would the parents be heartbroken, the spouse and children will lead miserable lives. Therefore, this sin is exceptionally severe. A chaotic world begins with the loss of conscience and the lack of moral education. In our physical world, it is easy to commit uncountable bad karma. For example, indulgence in sexual misconduct or gambling, indulgence in alcohol, or not being dutiful or filial to the parents, or forgetting the kindness of others. One mistake leads to 1,000 lifetimes of regret, and it will be too late to realize this at the end of one's life. If everyone fails to perform their duties at work, endless karma will be committed. The source of all misconduct comes from the 3 poisons: greed, anger, and ignorance. The lack of morality these days is due to the failure of adhering to the teachings of sages and moral people. Many people know their own religions only at a superficial level, and not their true essence, which is about moral education. Ignoring the essence of our own religion and focusing only on formalities further confuses them and leads to deterioration of their morals. If one does not practice what one learns, one should feel ashamed in front of virtuous books. We study the teaching of the sages to educate our communities. If we do not harmonize ourselves with these teachings and not act as a role model for others, but instead indulge in fame and financial gain, then we will be the first to come to this hell for remedial study. Next, one goes to other hells to clear one's sins. People who profit by cheating disappoint those with sincerity. The purpose of social educators is to serve and educate the people. Their only purpose is to look after the people's interests. Should anyone try to gain profit for themselves, it will not only damage the image of the educators, but also disappoint the people. Such as, if people who lead Buddhist chanting ceremonies miss a few lines, or if they are unfocused or insincere, they would first have to make up for their lapses after death. Then they would be sent to different hells to absolve their sins. The dim lights from an oil lamp cannot show up black-hearted people. Intelligent, capable people can bring good fortune to others, or bring disaster too. For some who claim to be religious and fail to follow the teachings in the scriptures, their sufferings will be unbearable once the judge arrives. They will also be reborn as animals to pay for their sins. People go to different hells according to their sins. Dictated by the course of one's karma, one will go to a specific hell according to one's past deeds, as the due punishment is personally experienced and served. The hell of pillars. It is said, lewd thoughts arise from a comfortable life. Today, sexual indulgence is widespread. Most who suffer in this hell indulged in their past lives in sexual misconduct and adultery, in the selling of pornographic books, tapes, and discs, or in the photographing, writing, possessing, or was involved in the public exhibition of pornography and similar materials. These people will be sent to this particular hell after their death. They will be forced to embrace a red-hot burning copper pillar, die from burns all over their bodies, and then be reborn repeatedly in this hell as a form of perpetual punishment. This pain and suffering will be unbearable. Once these people can eliminate their bad karma, they are often reborn as animals. Ending their karma as animals, they will gain a human form. They will usually be poor and despised, have short or harsh lives. The Hell of Firebed. The hell of firebed is like a cooking grill. Males who engage in sexual misconduct will be forced to embrace a copper pillar, as females suffer on an iron bed. We read that those who like to take lives, or cook flesh in various ways, or those who trample on small insects, come to this hell to suffer after their death. The period of suffering in this hell is inconceivably long. If they completely eliminate their karma for this hell, but they still have other karma, they will be sent to other hells to clear those karma. The second hall in the hells, the Hall of King Chujiang. King Chujiang is in charge of the second hall, known as the Great Hell of Lasting Suffering. We are forced to come here due to countless killings in our former life. The punishment will be in accordance with each and every particular killing that we have committed. One gets killed the same way in which one killed others. Beings come to this hell due to their love of killing in their previous lives. If the degree of killing can be classified into 3 levels, there will be 3 levels of corresponding hells. In short, the punishment depends on one's karma, and one can be sent to as many as 16 places for punishment. One goes to other hells after completing the suffering here. The punishments can last hundreds or thousands of years. The level of suffering increases at each of the 16 places. They are linked successively. The torture seems endless. The Hell of Stomach Piercing. Those who viciously harm other beings, such as killing aquatic beings using forks and spears, or hunting animals, will be pierced in their stomachs. They will not only have their stomachs pierced, but also have their bodies stabbed beyond recognition. Their misery is extreme, and their lasting and painful death are revived by the mere touch of a breeze. The torture process will be repeated endlessly. The Hell of the Sword Leaves. Ruthless people who use knives and clubs to fight with others, or who instigate fights, or who engage in gang fights, or who invade another country, or those who initiate wars will suffer in this hell after death. When we look at the current state of our world, we see the weak falling victim to the strong. Competition escalates to become fighting. The escalation of fighting becomes war. Many innocent people are facing unprecedented disasters. Today, the earth has become a global community. Invasion and occupation of another's country should not occur. When we have observed the sufferings of others condemned within this hell, we should contemplate the real value and meaning of life. The Hell of Tongue Raking. Conflicts can arise from the expression of too many wrong words. The karma of speech causes endless misdeeds. The punishments are numerous and extreme. In this painting, the tongue is raked as it is being pulled out. The Buddha said, "Those who bear tales sow discord often eat the flesh on their own back." People in this hell suffer and cry incessantly. After the karma for this hell is completely eliminated, they will be sent to the hell of molten copper and have their throat, heart, lung, and intestines scalded. So much suffering can occur with just the karma of speech. Those who defame the Buddha and sages, or those who create rumors or extensive conflicts, or those who cheat the elderly and kind people, cannot escape